Good afternoon, everybody. We are live, coming to you from Acumen Stadium here on the campus of St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario. Regular season is winding down. Playoffs are on the horizon. Mohawk comes to town, take on the Saints in OCAA men's soccer action. My name is Dan Dominguez, and the We Digital crew is going to be bringing you all the action from the pitch here as we're going to get right to the starting lineups. We're going to start with the visiting Mohawk Mountaineers. Their keeper is going to be number 1, Marco Ferrucci, Juan Franco, Jalen Sinclair, Calamar Russell, Giancarlo, Ciamoli, Bowden, Taven Brown, Emilio Refosco, Diani, and Aviles are the starting 11 for the visitors, and they're led by head coach David Massafra. And for the Saints, they're led by first-year head coach Gianni Ferri. Their keeper is going to be Max Rahi, and their starting 11, Patrick Mayu, Mateo Ventura, we'll talk about him, Noah Bronco, Aiden Belcastro, Max Rahi, we already mentioned the keeper, Nicholas Rahi also on the team, Michael Jaworski, Dawid Solomon, Zachary Soberai, Thomas Saba, and Aaron Thwaites rounds out the starting 11 for the hometown St. Clair Saints. Taking a look at the standings, Humber is at the top of the standings. They're 8-0-0 with 24 points. Conestoga's in second with 18 points. The Saints sit at 4-2-1, 13 points, and they still have 3 games remaining. They're riding a 3-game winning streak, a 1-2 home record. They're in third. Sheridan, followed by Niagara, and in 6th place is the Mohawk Mountaineers. Only 1 win, 3 losses, 4 draws, 7 points. Mohawk is 1-1-1 on the road. They're ranked 10th provincially. Saints are ranked 6th. Mohawk, in their 8 games, only has 7 goals for, so not a high-scoring team. They've given up 11 goals, so again, defense-first mentality for this Mohawk soccer program. 1.38 goals against. The Saints, on the other hand, have 15 goals for, 2.14, and there's the keeper for Mohawk. Mohawk is Marco Ferrucci. Ferrucci has 44 saves this year. He's tied for 3rd in the OCAA in saves for Mohawk. The keeper is going to be Max Rahi for St. Clair. He's 4-2-1, 9 goals against, 28 saves, only a 757 goals save percentage, and a 129 goals against average. So the Saints, again, are in all white. They're going to be going from right to left across your screen. The Mohawk Mountaineers visiting. They're in the double burnt orange. And the Saints are going to have first touch here today. They're led, their top scorer, Mateo Ventura, 5 goals, which is good for top 4, tied for 4th in the OCAA in goals. Oh, they changed it up. Looks like Mohawk's going to get first touch, so a little bit of confusion off the get-go. And it's hot out there, folks. 30 degrees. Just the odd cloud. Nothing that over the stadium, though. Out in the horizon, you see a few clouds. 34 humidex. And we're underway here at Acumen Stadium on the pitch here at St. Clair College. Mohawk tries to send a ball deep and defended nicely. You see the Saints with Mayu. He was injured early in the season. It's good to have him on the back line for the Saints now. Mayu wears number 2 on the near side. We'll see him here shortly. That's Thwaites. Thwaites moves up to Saba. Saba, can't see if he's wearing the armband today. I believe he has the captain's armband today. He usually does. Yeah, it looks like he does. Saints send it far side. Into middle to Solomon. We haven't seen a lot of Solomon so far. He does have 1 goal and 2 assists, though, this season. He's from Westview Freedom Academy. Working in front of the Saints bench. Near side. Saints have it. Early in this one, not much action here. Saints have possession. Middle of the field to Solomon. Solomon has 3 defenders around him. They go all the way back to the keeper. That's Max Rahi. Near side, that's Mayu. Gives it up to Thwaites. Now Saba. Saba out of Leamington. The veteran of this team, one of only 3 fifth-year players for the St. Clair Saints. They try and go across the field, but that ball's turned over. The back line for Mohawk has it. That back line moving in unison for Mohawk. They try a near ball. Number 9 wanted it. What are we calling here? Looks like it might have been an offside. That's Michael Charmoli, number 9, offside. He was asking for a jersey tug. He's out of Stony Creek. Charmoli is. This ball is near side now. Mohawk has it. Looking for a space. There's Charmoli. Nice little heel pass, but to nobody. Mayu's got it. Charmoli has a goal on the season. Looks like one of the stronger players for the Mohawk. 12 shots, which is good for tied for second in the OCAA. So one of their top offensive threats for the Mountaineers. So we'll keep an eye on number 9 for Mohawk. That ball goes in the middle. A little slide tackle. Saints player goes down. That was 32. Soberai. This one goes all the way back to the keeper. Rahi takes a big boot to the outside. Jaworski's there. Uh-oh, there's trouble. Mohawk's in. That goes up and over the net. Dangerous opportunity. First chance for Charmoli. And you see Michael Charmoli. He's a second-year player. St. John Henry Newman Secondary School just chips it over the keeper. Good job by Max Rahi to come out of the net to try and take away some of the angle from the striker for Mohawk. So that's Solomon middle. They got a runner down the far left side. Mayhew's calling for it, and Mayhew finally has it. Sends it up to the middle. Oh, it just misses. 32, Soberai. Soberai chases into Solomon. Nice footwork from Solomon. They're able to retain possession. Into the middle of the field for Saba. He might just line one up. We're in the 5th minute of this one. Jaworski chips one in. There's Ventura. Ventura keeps control. Ventura works one-on-one. Now a second defender crossing pass. One header misses. That gets chipped away by Soberai. Soberai, the tall forward, 6'3" out of Windsor. First year from out of St. Anne's. That ball bounces over everyone. Ventura is able to come away. Soberai, Aviles covering him. 2 orange shirts cover him, and they steal it away from him. Ventura couldn't do anything with it. Looking for the long ball again. That looks like maybe a bit of a strategy so far for Mohawk. Try to shoot that long ball over the defender's head and get one of the strikers running for the Mountaineers. So the Saints slow it down. The Saints have been good defensively. 15 goals scored, we mentioned. They've given up 9. So a 1.29 goals against for the Saints. Rahi's been in net for every match so far. Cole Martell, the other keeper for the Saints. This one's booted in. Ventura's chasing. He might have been offside, so he lets that one go. He might not have been able to catch up to that one anyway. So both benches, you can see instructions being yelled out from both Gianni Ferry and Coach Masafra for Mohawk. We got a throw in on the near side. That's high and headed away by Mayu. Solomon keeps the defender off but gets shoved. But they get possession, but they're going to take the advantage. And they're going to reset as in a good position for the Saints. On the free kick, Saba's going to line things up. Only one shot so far. That was by Mohawk. So Saba's lining things up for the Saints. 5'8" Cardinal Carter graduate out of Leamington. Let's see if he just drills one right on net. There's two Mohawk defenders in front of him. Set a strong ball near side, just misses. Saba just let loose on a ball from about just under 30 yards out and just tries to go short side, not able to come up with the corner of the net. So that's going to be a goal kick for Mohawk. Mohawk sends a nice pass upfield, but two Saints converge, Ventura and Saba. But Mohawk comes away. Nice little pinch from the defense for the Saints. That's Bronco. Bronco to Solomon. Solomon keeps the defender on his back. And they go to the middle of the field. Chipped up nicely. Ventura trying to get to it. Ventura one-on-one trying to get it to his right foot. Centering ball. Still pressure from the Saints, but this one's finally cleared away by Mohawk, and here comes Mohawk. But Saba quickly steals. Saba, if you watch the women's game, kind of reminds you of Olivito, kind of always a nose for the ball and not afraid of contact in the middle of the pitch. Saba has one goal this year. Sends Mayu. Let's see if Mayu can chase this one down. He's just going to get to it in the corner. Mayu's got a defender on him. Mayu's trying to find a lane. Just passes it into the penalty area, but nobody there. And that ball is turned over. And here comes Refosco. That ball goes past the boundary line. That's going to be a throw-in. Emilio Refosco, 5'7" out of Hamilton, third year. We're in the 9th minute here. Men's OCAA soccer. This is the final weekend match for the Saints. They have another one on Thursday evening here at Acumen Stadium. That'll be seniors night. You see some of the women's Mohawks players at the bottom of the screen maybe there walking by. They lost a 4-0 game against the St. Clair Saints. The Saints women's team dominated them pretty much from start to finish. They tried a little give and go Mohawk, but unsuccessful. That's going to be turned over and a throw in for the Saints. It's a warm, sunny day here. Again, Humidex well over 30 degrees now on this October 4th here on a Saturday. So, again, better Humidex than wind chill, I guess, but it's still warm up here in the wee digital broadcast position. Thwaites taking his time. Saints trying to methodically move the ball up. They elect to go all the way back to Max Rahi now. One shot apiece for Mohawk and St. Clair. No real chances yet in this one. This one they finally go to Ventura in the middle. Ventura's got Solomon with him. Solomon runs into traffic and loses possession. Oh, they tried to send the striker up, Charmoli. So you see Charmoli off the number 9, trying to sneak in ahead of the defense. Definitely the scoring threat for Mohawk. Solomon tries to shove his defender off the ball, but gets shoved off. One-on-one race. Nicely moved over by Belcastro. Belcastro moves it up the head to Solomon. The Saints again moving it slowly in the shadow of the scoreboard. Solomon has it, but again loses possession. No foul. They play on. Everyone kind of stopped playing there for a second. And now the Saints have a run. Oh, they call the offside flag just ahead of the last line of defense. The Saints forward got in too early. So you see the Mohawk, that back line, they move together really well up and down the line. Those 4 defenders at the back to try and kind of draw or sucker the forwards offside into an offside position. Nice little spin move. The keeper's there, doesn't really control, finally comes away with it. Rahi gets it off to the far side quickly. Near side now the Thwaites. Thwaites sends it up to Ventura, can't get it past the last defense. That's Sinclair. Solomon midfield, he's going to go all the way back to Mayu. Mayu fakes the left foot. Saints regroup to go on the far side. Again, working slowly, the Saints. That's 25. That's Jaworski. And here comes a ball in again. Mayu has to come back and help. That's going to get over everyone's head and cross the boundary line. That's going to be a throw in for the St. Clair Saints. Just starting the 13th minute here at Acumen Stadium. No score. Looks like we're going to have our first substitution on the far side. Looks like number 13 is coming off the pitch. That's Taven Brown. Brown goes off. He's out of Burlington. Can't quite see the number of the player coming on. Saints have possession. That was number 10 coming on, Ignacio Torres. I think his sister was on the women's team we saw back in the match earlier today. Far side, Saints try and control. That's Rahi, Nicholas Rahi. Again, the Saints not in a rush to get things going. They're trying to find a lane. They got Ventura, who can't control that one, but now Saba comes away. Saba sends a knuckleball in there, and that one's going to get past everyone. It looks like it's going to have enough steam to cross the boundary line, and it does. So that's going to be a goal kick. Marco Ferrucci, the keeper, 6'2", tall keeper out of Hamilton, St. Thomas More Catholic Secondary School, a second-year player. As they get this ball back into play. Mohawk's a physical team. They're sitting on, they have 20 team yellow cards this year and a red. They're tied for third in the league as the Mohawk player's offside. And Charmoli again with his hands to the air. Not like in the calls he's getting from the officiating early in this match. The Saints are one of the top teams in goal and corner kicks, so we'll see if they can take some advantage of that later in this one. 53 corners, third in the OCAA. Going to be a throw-in on the near side for St. Clair. Saba's going to give it up. Again, the Saints not really rushing this one. That's Michael Jaworski, 5'9" out of Windsor, Holy Name, second-year player. He's going to look for the big throw-in to try and get it all the way into the penalty area. Gets it high over the first line of defense, headed towards the goal, kicked away by the defense. And that's just heading towards the edge and just crosses the boundary line. And that'll be another throw-in. As you see, the throw-in got over the first line, and a big boot sent it into the sky. And we're probably going to have an instant replay of this right here, as they're going to probably try that same play on the throw-in. This one doesn't go quite as far. They try and head it home, but Saba's there. Saba tries to find the far corner. Can't do anything with it. A spinning right boot. Ventura was trying to deflect it home somehow. Saba gets it in quickly. He's ready with the throw. And this time thinks better of it and takes his time on the throw-in. Goes in deep on the throw. And that's going to get over everyone's head. Let's see if the Saints can keep it in. No, pushed away nicely by number 6. Giancaro from Mohawk. Goal kick now from Mohawk. They try and send up the midfield. Headed straight up in the air, but not a great header from the Saints. And that one's kicked far side. One-on-one battle. That's Torres. Torres centering ball, but the Saints are there, and they get it up to Ventura. Ventura trying to send a Saints player in there, but no one there. And that ball gets booted away, and that's going to be a throw-in right in front of us here. As they try and round up that ball. Lily Collins looks like to be chasing that one. Well, she missed the match earlier today with injury. Solomon goes down to the turf. Torres has it, pushes it up ahead. And that's Mayu going to chase it down. It looks like they're going to try things on the far side as they use the keeper as a relay man to send it to the far side. Middle of the field to Solomon. And there's a flag up with a foul. That looks like it's going to be against the Saints. And that's over the line, so it's going to be a throw in. It looks like another substitution coming in for Mohawk. Now it looks like the striker might be coming off. That's Charmoli. So probably the biggest offensive threat for the Saints, or for the Mohawk Mountaineers, coming off the pitch. Going to take a breather here as we pass. We're in the 18th minute of this one. We're 0-0. Number 20 comes in. Antunes. Oh, big collision. And the goalkeeper and the forward are down. A big collision. It looked like number 14, Emilio Refosco. And they're going to call the trainer in, so we might get to see the backup keeper for the first time of the year, Cole Martell. This was two big bodies hitting each other. And then just no space to go. The big bodies hit each other. Max Rahi, 6'3" keeper. And that looked like number 14, Refosco. Not as big, only 5'7", but. So we'll see if the keeper's going to be able to go. I don't know if we can see on the far side if we can find the keeper. It'd be number 1, Cole Martell. So I don't see any goalies moving around or anyone making any extra movement. Looks like he's going to get back to his feet and maybe knock the wind out of him. So hopefully just the wind knocked out of him, and he'll be able to stay in this one. So that'd be a big loss. No Saints keeper. No other keeper has played any minutes this season. I think he just gave the referee a quick thumbs up. And now the officials are going to come together near side, because normally if a trainer comes in for a player, that player does have to go off, but I think the rules might be different for the keeper. And you can see the big collision there. The two bodies going in opposite direction and is both hitting a wall. So we'll see what the actual call was going to be. So we got a little bit of a conversation going in with our sideline referee and the head referee. So the Saints team is over on their bench talking to Gianni Ferri. And again, looks like we're going to get a thumbs up from the keeper. So good to see the keeper, Rahi, stay in this one. Max Rahi. 6'3" out of Leamington, third-year player, Cardinal Carter product. We mentioned his 129 goals against average. He's got a 4-2-1 record. Rahi's only given up 9 goals this year. So we'll keep an eye to see how he responds after that big collision. Make sure he's shaking all those cobwebs loose. So we've just started the 21st minute plus any added time. Not quite halfway through the first half. Near side is Mayu. We're 0-0. Soberai's in the neighborhood. Soberai kind of drags the player down. They play on. Looks like he kind of fell on his own. Some yelling from the bench. Soberai can't control, and finally they fake the clearing kick, and there it is now. There's a big shove. That's an easy call on the foul by Mohawk. It looked like Torres shoving off. And now the referee talking to Torres as Torres kind of delays the game a little bit, kicking it away from the Saints player. Saba tried a crossing pass, but he got tipped away, and the ball gets turned over. This goes all the way down. Belcastro has to go back, and there's Rahi. Rahi's able to scoop. Saints again moving the ball slowly up. They haven't been trying those long balls as much that we've seen Mohawk attempting a couple of times. This time now they do send one up. That's Solomon. Solomon's got the ball. He hops over a defender. He's got some space. He's got 2 defenders watching. And Solomon crosses it over to Saba. Saba plays it off the chest, but the Saints have to regroup. Midfield at the Saints logo. That's Thwaite, 6'2 defender. Tries to chip it into Solomon. Solomon tries to run it down. He just keeps it in. One-on-one in the corner. Crossing ball. Nobody there for the Saints. And easily cleared away to midfield. Saints are there to stop it. Lots of yelling coming over from the Mohawk sideline. The Saints moving slowly here, trying to find a lane. They're going to get it near side, midfield from Thwaites. Thwaites is going to chip one up, trying to get Solomon, but the keeper's going to be there. He takes the high hopper off the turf. And he tries to settle things down for the Mountaineers. He bowls it out left-handed, far side. That looks like Russell, 6-footer out of Hamilton. Some contact far side, just in the only shade we have here underneath the scoreboard. And looks like an offside call against the Saints. Saints in too early. Second or third time we've seen that now from the Saints offensive players. Getting in just ahead of the defense. And like I said that earlier, it's a strategy of Hamilton sliding up defensively to try and draw that player offside. Could be a risky play because if you get the perfect pass, you can get that forward ahead of everyone. Tries to get the ball in the corner. That looks like it's going to be a corner, and it is. So the Mohawk Mountaineers going to get their first corner of this match. Looks like number 10, Ignacio Torres, heading for it. Almost all the Saints back defensively. Only Ventura stays at midfield. Mohawk directing traffic to where they want this corner. Low line drive just over everybody's head. Just sailed on him. A little bit of wind at his back, so that might have helped that ball get some air. And that's going to be a throw-in down low for the Saints. Looks like Mohawk's going to come up and pressure it a little bit. See if they can force the Saints into a turnover. As you can see, I can count 5 orange shirts there kind of surrounding that throw-in. They shove Saba off the ball, and Mohawk comes away. Torres crossing ball. That's going to lead to a corner. So good job by Mohawk, forcing a turnover and earning a corner kick. And this time kicking into the wind. Not a strong breeze out there. We'll see what happens on this corner. That's Torres again. This time goes for the pass. Chips the one to the top side. They got a chance, and it's in the back of the net. That looks like number 22, Marcus Aviles. They go for the short pass. They chip it over. It is 22. His first goal of the season for Aviles. And you can see on the corner, they go short and get the pass. The pass was beautiful to go to the far side, and Aviles is easily just chips it home. And the Mountaineers get their first goal of the game in the 26th minute, and that was Diani with the assist. So Marcus Aviles gets the Mohawk Mountaineers on the board, and they lead at 1-0. So we'll see how the Saints and Coach Ferry's team can respond here. As the very first pass heads right into the Saints bench, so not responding very well off that kickoff. So the pressure on the defense before that corner kick forced a turnover. The turnover led to a corner, and the corner leads to a goal. So nice pressure from Mohawk to force the Saints into a mistake and getting that first goal of the match. So there's a little dispute on where this ball is going. Looks like it's going to be Saints possession. Right in front of the Saints bench on a throw. We're in the 27th minute. The Saints are going to have to find a way to respond. Again, Mohawk, a defensive style team. They've only given up 11 goals. Thwaites and Saba working together. They work far side. Again, Thwaites with it. Saints trying to be patient. They go to Mayu. And now to Saba. Mohawk got the lead they wanted. Again, a defensive team. And now with a 1-0 lead, they can try and lock it up defensively even more so. Nice little foot by Solomon to get some room. He sends a big ball over far side, just over the head of a Saints player. And then the far side, that's Rahi. Nick Rahi. And again, Thwaites has it at the logo for the Saints. Solomon tries a little chip outside, unable to do so, and that heads to the trainer for the Mountaineers. And the Saints are going to look to throw this in quickly, and we got a whistle. Looks like a substitution coming in. So it looks like number 2 coming off. That's Juan Franco. And 23, I believe, coming in, Gavin Paxton, 5'10", out of St. Catharines. A rookie, St. Francis. They throw it all the way back. And again, the Saints probably winning the possession game, I guess, in this matchup, but not getting a lot of opportunities. Just the one shot so far. No saves need to be made by the keeper, Ferrucci. Mohawk has 3 shots. Rahi made 1 save. Oh, a stumble by Thwaites. And he goes all the way back. And Rahi's got to get rid of that one. Ventura tries to chip it up, and it goes to a Mohawk player. Antunes, nice hop by the referee to stay out of the way. Diani, he got the assist on the first goal, sends it outside. There's some room. And they chip it back now to Sinclair. Sinclair tries to send it into the area. Oh, tries a nice little, almost like a little spinning bicycle kick there from Mohawk. Unable to get anything going, get any contact on that one. And I see Rahi even bent over at the waist a little bit. That heat, I'm sure, taking a toll on him, but also that big collision we saw earlier in this first half, as we're approaching half an hour played in this first half. And the Saints not really putting up much pressure offensively so far. They've been mostly kind of around the perimeter with the ball. We're going to push it down to Mayhew, just in front of us here at midfield. Nice push up the line to Ventura. That one's just trickling on the line. And that one finally has to be kicked away by the Mohawk player. So that's going to be a throw-in in good position for the St. Clair Saints. So it looks like there's a player stretching out in front of us, having a bit of a problem injury-wise. So that feels more of a cramp, it looks like. And I just saw a player hopping off the bench right away. They'll probably come in as a substitution. That's Thwaites having the cramping issue. 6'2" out of Holy Names. Big throw into the middle. Saints get a head on it. And that gets booted away to midfield. That ball tries to chip it over Thwaites and see how he can respond with the cramp. 10 tries to get past him. Calls for a hand, but looks like there might be an offside. I think it might have been a handball. Yep, the referee just signaled to the left arm. It got the player's left arm, as there's now a Mohawk player down. That's 10. I think he was responsible for that handball, Torres, as we're going to have substitutions coming on. So it's going to be Saints possession. It's on the edge of their back third. And there's 37 coming off, Saba. We thought we might see a substitute for Thwaites, but he's going to stay in the match. So Thwaites puts it back in. There's number 18, Mastriani, new into the game for the Saints. Thwaites has nobody near him. Finally kicks a long ball in to try and send Mayu. A little bit of backspin so that ball checks up. Mayu trying to body his way in, but a nice job by the Mohawk player to keep it off. And that's finally going to get cleared away by Mohawk. Again, no real chance, but here come the Mountaineers, midfield. Nice outlet pass. But Rahi comes out the scoop. Again, the Saints, once they get possession, they're moving slow. They get it up to Ventura. He's got Mayu on his left. They try and kick it out to Mayu, just keeps it inside, right near the line. Ventura gets pushed off by the bigger defender, Giancarlo. Oh, another big collision as Giancarlo goes down. And chipped away nicely, but the Saints defend. But here comes Mohawk again, and Mayu just chips it away the midfield. Solomon collides with a Mohawk defender. That ball kicked away. Solomon tries to control, and he does as the defender slips. Ventura has it. And this time the Saints are going to regroup all the way back to the keeper again as they're going to set up shop back with Rahi. The Saints not showing much offense so far here in the first half. Mohawk, more of a defense-first philosophy, and it's working here so far to perfection in the first half. But here come the Saints. That was Soberai. Soberai tried to get to Solomon, unable to do so. Mohawk had a couple players in there, but number 13, Belcastro, came flying in to defend. That might have been a handball. I haven't heard a whistle yet. Here comes the whistle. Looked like I saw a handball on Solomon. And it looks like we have another Saints player down. That's 13. That's Belcastro, 5'10", out of LaSalle, second-year player from Villanova. Looks like they're working lower body. Can't tell if it's an ankle or just a cramp. And I think both teams, there's going to be some substitutions. Easy for me to say. And I think teams are going to head to their benches to get a little bit of water on this hot, sunny day. Both teams dealing with the Humidex, much warmer even on the AstroTurf here at Acumen Stadium. And yeah, now both teams are definitely heading over for a quick water break as we're in the 35th minute. Hot, sunny day here in Windsor, Ontario, especially for October 4th. The Saints this year, 4-2-1. They have a 1-2 home record, but they trail early in this one. 36th minute of play, they trail 1-0. Back in the 26th minute, Aviles scored the only goal of this one. St. Clair's going to be back in action here Thursday night, their senior night. That'll be the final match and final home match of the season before playoffs. So 13's really hobbling off now is Aiden Belcastro. So we'll see if we see him again for the rest of this match. As he gets helped to the sideline. We're nearing playoffs in all the sports here in the OCAA. Men's and women's softball winding up next week as well. We're going to wait to get this one back in play as the goalkeeper is going to put it back in play once we get the whistle. Referee gives the thumbs up to both keepers, and we're ready. And we're back underway here. Ferrucci taking his time kicking it as everyone's still walking into position. He puts the left boot on it. Oh, it looks like a push foul against the Saints. That looked like it might have been against Mastriani. So pretty good position here for Mohawk. 40 yards out. They're going to look to get something towards the goal here. 3 shots by the Mohawk, only 1 by the Saints. 1 save for Rahi, but 1 got past him as well. Mohawk discussing what they want to do this one. That looks like their striker, Charmoli, going to take it. Some jostling going around on the edge of the box from the Saints defender and some of the forwards from Mohawk. Just a soft chip in, and that gets headed away nicely by the defense of the Saints. But Mohawk retains possession. Oh, he steps around Ventura nicely, sends one towards the goal, headed away nicely. And that's just going to cross the boundary line. It looks like it's going to be a throw-in in the corner. Just misses out on being a corner. So the defender's going to come all the way from the far side to throw this ball in. That looks like number 11, Ben Bowden, the midfielder out of Hamilton. So he's going to look to throw in all the way towards the goal area. Nice throw all the way in, headed once. Nice kick. Oh, just over the bar. Charmoli almost had one. So a nice attempt there by the striker. And there's Charmoli with the spinning kick. Oh, it looks like Rahi's down again. The keeper slow to his feet. So he looks like to be struggling now. Rahi is in the net, Max Rahi. So we'll keep an eye if there's a keeper getting ready or not on the far side. It would be Cole Martell, the only other keeper on the roster. Saints with possession. Near side, Ventura gets surrounded by 3 Mohawk players. Near side, that gets pushed away, but that's going to be a throw-in for the Saints. That's 16, Brody Reno. Haven't seen a lot of him. 5'7" out of St. Anne's. He's a rookie. Mastriani has it middle of the field, but elects to go far side. Saba's out of the game right now for the Saints. We usually see him right in the middle of the field. Near side, Brody Reno. Mastriani. And then now back to Mayu. Saints going to try their luck on the far side now. You saw Charmoli try and sneak a dart out in front of that pass. Tried to read it. Left boot chipped in for Mayu. That gets past a couple of guys, but Mohawk comes away. And that's going to head towards the Mountaineers bench. And I think it's going to be a throw-in for the Saints. It is. Noah Bronco throws it in quickly. Again, the Saints struggling to find some offense here today. Tough defense from these Mountaineers. Mountaineers just have the 1 victory. They have 4 ties to go along with 3 defeats. There's Ventura now, going to try and get around the defender, but he gets surrounded quickly by 2 orange shirts. The Saints are going to have to connect on a couple of passes somewhere to get free somebody. There's one pass to Solomon. There's a second one. Let's see what they got here. Player goes down. There's a foul called. The flag's up. What are we calling? The referee did put the flag up. So no foul call. It's just going to be a throw-in, it looks like. Mayu trying to move it in. Mastriani tries to get around. Or sorry, that's Reno. Reno gets taken down. There's a foul called. So finally the Saints are going to have a free kick in a dangerous position. Let's see if they can get something going offensively. So that's 18. Alessio Oliveto. As the referee moves the Mohawk player back. The Saints grouping in at the edge of the area. Mateo Ventura in front. Low line drive towards, that's headed away, and that's going to result in a corner. Should be a corner. I think it went, yep, the ball boy just threw it to the wrong team. So the Saints ball boy not doing the team any favors there. That's going to be a corner now for the Saints. Saints going to try the same play, just a little bit further back now. This ball goes higher towards the keeper. He's able to grab it out of the air, and he boots it away with the left foot. Straight up in the air. Look out, there's Charmali trying to handle. Nice play by the Saints to keep that ball away from Charmoli. So the last few minutes of the first half, we should have a couple of minutes of added time between a couple injuries and the water break. This ball's chipped up towards Ventura. Ventura's there. Ventura just kind of overran the ball a little bit. He tried to play the hop. That ball's kicked away midfield. The Saints have it. There's Mayu. Over to Mastriani. They go far side. Chips it up midfield, and that's straight to a Mohawk defender. And he boots it away. But that looks like it's going to go right away. Just turns it over to the Saints. Again, not seeing much pressure out of the Saints. Only one shot today. Nothing on net. Over the Reno. Reno to Mastriani in the middle. Someone's calling for it far side. The tall player gets the head on it. I couldn't catch a number there, but the keeper's there. That was 12. That's Noah Bronco. Bronco, 6'2" out of Kingsville. Another Cardinal Carter product. 4 Cardinal Carter players out of Leamington on this St. Clair Saints team. Nice outlet. And that one just gets chipped away. I think we're getting an out-of-town scoreboard. Looks like Humber in the top of the second of Game 2 leads 4-0 over at Lacoste Park. I believe the Saints came away with Game 1. They were up a couple runs in the 7th inning. So they might have hung on to Game 1, but down early in Game 2. Of course, We Digital brings you all the action here from St. Clair Saints Athletics. My name is Dan Dominguez. Thanks for joining us here today on this hot, steamy day for October. Corner kick coming, low line drive, hits a couple bodies. A couple guys hit the turf and finally chipped away. Ventura just tries to get it out of harm's way, and I think that crossed the line. Yeah, it did cross the line. It's going to be a throw-in for Mohawk. So we're heading towards the final moments of the first half. We're going to add a couple minutes for injuries. But after these last 10 seconds, we'll keep an eye on the head referee. We'll see if Mohawk can get one more offensive chance here in the first half. Quick whistle. Looks like somebody threw out a shove. It looked like it might have been Mastriani with the shove. He gets whistled quickly. So they've been calling that quick shove. We saw a little bit more physicality in the women's game where they were letting that go. This set of referees not really letting it go. As the referee paces off to 10 yards, and the dangerous Michael Charmoli out of Stony Creek, second-year player. Second the OCAA in shots. He has a couple defenders in front of him. He gets lined up for this one. We're into added time now. Sends a low line drive in. Headed a couple times. Oh, that's just off the side of the net. Almost headed home. A beautiful header. I couldn't see. That might have been Aviles again. 22. I think it was. Almost had his second goal of this one. And Aviles just missed out on his second goal as he tried to head it near side. And Rahi gets a break as that one stays out of the net. The Saints just trying to survive now here in the first half, just down 1. Here come the Mohawk Mountaineers again. Controlled nicely by Charmoli. Charmoli, a nice little footwork, gets some reaction from the crowd. And that ball gets kicked high up in the air. Mayu. And there's a header, and the Mohawk comes away He gets bodied down. Which way is he going? That looks like it's going to be a goal kick, actually, for Rahi. So referee just checks his watch now. We're going to play on for another minute or so. Oh, what are we calling here? Oh, they're having a substitution in added time. Okay. So we got a bit of a delay here as they're going to push the substitute off to the near side. That's Paxton going off. And looks like number 3 coming on, Manzueta. And the Saints moving it up slowly. Again, keeping an eye on our head referee for the final whistle of this first half. The Saints trying to get some pressure. That's Sober Eye pressuring, but he's got lots of orange shirts around him. Mayu. The offside flag is up. And there it is, the offside flag. And there's the hands up again from, that's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen that. And I don't know if we can see that from the replay or not. Charmoli not happy with the decision. And on the slow-mo, it looks tough to see the offside. Maybe we can save that one. I can look at it after. The final moments of this first half winding down. Mohawk up 1-0. It looks like it's going to be one last corner kick now for the Saints. So this could be an opportunity for Mastriano and the Saints. Mastriani, sorry. So one more opportunity as most of the Saints are pushed up into the play now. Only one defender back. Even Charmoli moves up defensively. That's a high ball. That's going to sky over everybody, I think. Saints do get one head on it. Saints again. A couple guys, Saints look at each other. They weren't sure who was going to kick it. And finally kicked away high by the Mohawk defender. And that's probably going to end it. And that does end the first half. So in the 26th minute, Aviles gets the only marker of this one. The Mohawk Mountaineers lead 1-0. We're heading to halftime. You're watching us live on We Digital.
Hey, soccer fans.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here at the Acumen Stadium pitch on the campus of St. Clair College here in Windsor, Ontario. We Digital bringing you OCAA men's soccer action. First half, not a lot of action. Mohawk got the only goal back in the 26th minute. Aviles got the only marker of the game. They had a couple nice plays. They got a turnover, and then off the corner kick, had a nice entry pass, and Aviles was able to put it home past Rahi for the only goal of this one. The Saints haven't shown a lot offensively as they're going to start with possession. The Saints are in all white. They're going to be going left to right across your screen. They've only managed one shot so far, and it wasn't even a shot on goal. So the Saints are going to have to find a way to step up their productivity here in half number 2. The Saints currently stand ranked number 6 provincially. They're 4-2-1, 13 points against Mohawk. Mohawk ranked 10th. They're 1-3-4 provincially, playing a lot of ties. And you can see the player coming there. That's with the ice on his ankle on the golf cart. That looked like might have been Belcastro. I think we saw him go down with an injury earlier. So his day looks to be over. Here come the Saints in on the far side, unable to do anything. That's well over everyone, deep into the parking lot. That ball is long gone. As the Saints baseball team is trying to come back 4-3 over at Lacoste Park. The ball boy tries to get the ball back in the action. So someone's going to have to go retrieve that one deep into the parking lot at the Saints. So a quick throw in. Saints have it in front of their own bench. That ball gets kicked in towards the keeper. Keeper comes out of it. That's Ferrucci with the scoops it up. And he's going to slow things down now as he bowls it out to his right side. Some contact there. It looks like the Saints might have been grabbing at the jersey a little bit. That's going to stay possession of the Mountaineers. The Saints so far this season have done pretty well with the shots attempted. 12.6 shots per game, but again, only one so far. Mohawk, they're playing at about their average. They're usually right around 5 per half. They're 9.3 per half, or per game this year, and they got 5 in that first half. So the referee getting that ball situated where he wants it, and now the free kick's going to be coming in shortly. Nice little pass outside and kicked away. Heads towards the bench of the Saints. That ball gets thrown in, this time in front of the Mohawk bench. That ball looks like it stays in. Mohawk's got a little run around the corner. But a nice play over there by Thwaites to stop any pressure. Still kind of tucked into their own corner. Nice little exit pass from the Saints defender. So again, the Saints playing that patient offensive style. Not putting too much pressure so far. There's Solomon. Solomon, I think, hit it off a Mohawk player, so that's going to be a throw-in as the Saints trainer retrieves the ball for St. Clair. So the Saints retreat toward that ball, crosses the line. They're going to get ready for the throw-in. Nice throw-in over the first line. Out-of-town scoreboard. Sounds like Vladdy Jr. on the board early for the Blue Jays in Game 1. We'll get word if it's a solo shot or not. It was a solo. So I'm sure Rogers Center rocking in Toronto today. So we got a couple of 1-0 games here, both at Rogers Center and on the pitch at Acumen. That ball near the boundary line, it does go over. That's going to be a throw-in in front of us. That ball gets headed away by the Saints. Saints looking for a foul, none to be had. Oh, but Rahi can't control in front of us. Nick Rahi just can't control that one. Mohawk has it. And that looks like it went off the chest of the Mohawk player. It did, and that's going to be a throw-in for St. Clair. So again, kind of a slow-moving second half here early. We played almost 5 minutes of this second half. Solomon showing some footwork there. Where's the flag going? The whistle blows. Both teams pointing at either way, and I think it did go off Solomon, and the referee does agree. Sideline referee wasn't a whole lot of help on that one. He should have had the best angle on it, but he relied on the head referee for the call. Looks like they called a foul on Solomon, so it's not even going to be a throw-in. They got a free kick in front of us. Nice little heel pass. Another whistle. So that one's going to go in favor of the Saints. They're going to have a free kick in their back third. So the Saints are going to have to do something, find something offensively here, get back even in this one. The Saints trying to stay on the top half of the draw in the playoff table. They're playing their 8th match of the year. They're sitting at 13 points currently. They lead Sheridan by 11 with 11 points. Niagara has 8. Mohawk with 7. So a big 3 points on the line here. That ball gets pushed around both ways. Charmoli chasing. Oh, and the Mohawk player slips, and that one gets chipped towards the goalie. Charmoli chases, and that goes through the leg, but that's going to be a throw-in in good position for the Mountaineers. So throw-in ready for Mohawk. That's 11. That's Ben Bowden. Oh, a big kick right into the midsection of a Saints player, it looked like. Mohawk pressuring. Charmoli on the outside, one-on-one. Saints player slips. Charmoli showing some nice footwork, keeping the defender at bay. And that one's blocked nicely. Solomon tries to get something forward, but quickly pushed back in. That looks like it'll be might have been originally offside. And that goes all the way back to the keeper. Sounds like we got an out-of-town score out at Lacoste Park. And Humber has jumped out to a 7-3 lead in the top of the third. Lots of scoring in this second game. It was 4-0. Saints brought it back to 4-3, but now Humber with a big top of the third inning. And they still got a long way to go in that one as they jostle in the standings in the OCAA men's baseball. Of course, Lacoste Park and St. Clair Saints will be hosting the OCs. Here comes Mohawk. They got a player streaking on the far side as a player goes flipping through the air. I think that might have been outside the box. It might have been a little bit extra flip by the Mohawk player there too. But in a couple weeks, we'll be hosting over at Lacoste Park. And, of course, all the action will be on Wii as we take a look at the replay here again. After the header, and then you'll see the collision, the player kind of fly through the air. I don't know if there was enough contact to send him that far up in the air. Mohawk pressuring again. That pass gets turned over, but quickly again, the Saints turn it right back over. Having a little bit of trouble offensively. So Waits thinks about that long pass. And the Saints slowly moving up towards midfield, and they go across the field now. That's Noah Bronco right in front of us here. He sends the big boot up. They try to get a runner going. That could be up and over everybody. It is. So the Saints finally trying a long ball. They had a couple of runners down the left side, but that got over the head of all the players and past the goal line. The keeper, Marco Ferrucci, with it. 6'2" out of Hamilton. Hasn't been too busy. Saints have only got one shot, nothing on net yet. No saves being made. Here's a ball in. Mohawks come in. The keeper comes out. Oh, a big collision. Mayu goes flying over, and he misses the goal. He had a wide open net. And this time they're going to have to bring Mayu out. Mayu comes out again. And what number was... I don't know what number that was on the far side. It might have been 20, Antunes. And Rahi came out at the last minute and just did a 360 splat onto the turf. And he's down for the second time. So again, we're looking on the far side of the St. Clair bench. And we're going to keep an eye out for Cole Martel, the backup keeper, the Sandwich secondary graduate in his second year. And it looks like there's even a Saints player down dealing with a cramp as well. I think that was Thwaites. We saw that in the first half with him as well. So both Mohawk heads over to their bench to get some water. 30 Celsius, about 34 Humidex here as we finally get a bit of a breeze here for the first time. Nothing significant from the wind coming out of the west. Maybe 10 to 15 kilometers an hour. You see the corner flag. Just blowing across the field a little bit. So Mayus looks like he's gonna, Rahi's gonna stay in the match. He's taking some lumps here today. And this one's back into play, but Rahi's still doubled over a little bit in front of his net. Solomon gives it up to Bronco. Bronco now over the Thwaites. And now the Saints are going to try the far side. Nice little move far side. That's Silva. We haven't seen him yet this match. He's an offensive threat. No goals this year. He gets shoved from behind, but they play on, and there will be a whistle. So that's going to be a good positioning now for the Saints. Let's see what they can do here. Got a little shove from the defender to draw the whistle. The referee's going to set the position for the free kick over on the far side, 20 yards out or so. The Saints lining up just across the top of the penalty area. And you see the tall Mayhew sneaking in as well. All the players kind of congregating at the top of the area, and you'll see them probably crashing the net here. There they go. There's a high ball towards the net, headed in, and then he scores! Noah Bronco with the goal in the 58th minute. A much-needed goal from the Saints on the crossing pass. I couldn't see what number sent the pass in. I couldn't see if that was Mastriani. But a beautiful crossing ball to Bronco, and Bronco heads it home. Only the second shot. The second shot by the Saints, the first one on net, and it is in the net. So it could have been Reno maybe on the free kick on the assist. And here come the Saints again. He kind of trips over the ball. And finally Mohawk has to kick it away. So a little momentum shift here as we're approaching the 1 hour mark here. And this ball heads towards the keeper. As Ferrucci has possession, pushes it near side. Ferrucci's still without a save in this one. The first shot on net went in the net. And that ball gets hit into the crowd, almost into the Mohawk women's team sitting in front of us. So we're tied at 1 here. the Saints got a much-needed goal. Not showing a whole lot of offense. They got a beautiful free kick in, and Bronco was able to head it home for the tire. That ball's headed away. Dangerous ball. The Saints get it away. Near side, Saints have it. That's Rahi, Nick Rahi now. Rahi tries to get around two defenders. Can't do it. Lots of contact, but Rahi just grabs the jersey one too many times, and the referee calls him on it, and that'll be a free kick for Mohawk. Rahi hangs on to the ball a little bit longer just so he can get in position. Looks like a substitution on the far side. That's Michael Jaworski heading off. That's number 25. Jaworski's a Holy Names product out of Windsor, 5'9". He's a midfielder. And we'll take a look and try and get you that substitution coming on. We'll have to wait till he turns around. That could be Saba. Yeah, it does look like Thomas Saba back in the match. That ball skips away from the Mohawk player, so immediately turned over, and the Saints take over. So ball back in play. Saints have it, and they're back third. We're just over an hour played. Saints player trips over the ball a little bit, so he'll stop and regroup himself. Saba feeds it back to Thwaites. Mayu sends a left footer in there. They got a runner on the far side. Taken down. Let's see if they get a call. Looks like they are going to get the foul call. So nice positioning there for the Saints again. That looks like 13 on the foul. Taven Brown with a little bit of a push. And the Saints are going to have a great positioning again here again in the second half. Similar to their first goal. Referee paces off to 10 yards. Pushes the defender back. Saints looking to crash again. Here comes a free kick. That sails over everyone, but the Saints are able. So it sounds like this. So the Blue Jays are on the board again. Captain Kirk with another solo homer. There's a Saints player down. Look like he's holding his neck. Can't quite see who it was. Solomon goes to check on him. And they're going to bring the trainer on for this one. So couldn't quite see the injury, but he's holding the back of his neck. So we might get some substitutions on. We're in the 63rd minute. This one's tied at 1. We're at Acumen Stadium. The Saints getting near the end of their regular season. Currently sitting in third place with a 4-2-1 record. Trying to stay in the top half of the standings so they can get a first round home matchup. And if they can somehow catch up to Conestoga, potentially even a second round playoff home match, but that one seems more unlikely. But both the men and the women should be hosting right here at Acumen Stadium in about a week and a half's time. On usually a Wednesday night, they'll host those first rounds of the playoffs. Trainer still checking on the injured Saints player. So we're definitely going to see some added time here once this is done. So the shots for Mohawk, 5 shots. St. Clair has 2. There's only been 1 save made in the match, and that went to Rahi. And then a pair of goals, one from either side. Avila's back in the 26th minute. Bronco in the 58th minute. Looks like they're finally going to try and get the player off to the sideline, getting helped up by the trainer. still holding the back of his neck, and I think the Saints, that was 24, so that's Rahi. The Rahis are having a rough day today. That's Nick Rahi now. We've seen his brother Max taking a beating in the goal today. And now he's down. So Saba immediately steals the the throw. Ventura tries to get around the edge. He does. Gets around one defender. Gets it into Solomon. Oh, almost steps around the defender. So a nice attempt there from Solomon and Ventura. So momentum has shifted a little bit to the Saints. Let's see how Mohawk responds. Bounces over a couple players. That's Franco on the far side. Little chip in. Mayu defends. Two Mohawk players are there. Mohawk steals. Dances through the defender and just kicked out of the play over everything and long gone. That ball is sent away. So we're going to have to see someone go retrieve that ball. That ball's going to head to the corner now. That's number 10 heading to the corner. That's Ignacio Torres. Here comes a corner for they elect to pass it to the top of the box, chipped it towards the net, header, big collision, and he whistles. No whistles, they play on. The bench screaming for a penalty shot. Looking for the penalty kick. So both players jumping for the ball, so incidental contact, so they play on. Saba's going to throw. And that's headed away by Mohawk, and Mohawk loses possession. The Saints have it. So Thwaites over the Mayu. That ball gets chipped away. Thwaites is able to out-jump and head it away. Mastriani. And the Saints are going to regroup back in their own end. We're in the 67th minute. Nice little pass to the outside by the Saints. That's Silva. Silva dances to the middle. Passes it back to midfield. Here comes Mayu. Mayu outside. Oh, bad pass. Tried to lead the Saints player, but led him by about 10 yards into the Saints bench. So that'll be a throw in. The ball heads into the... not a lot of shade on this field today, but that's where it is, underneath the scoreboard here at Acumen Stadium at the pitch. It looks like they are going to call for a water break here. So we're in the 68th minute. Back in the 26th minute, Aviles for Mohawk scored. He almost had another one as he headed one close, but it stayed out, and that kept it 1-0 at the time. And then just 10 minutes or so, Noah Bronco was able to put it home in the 58th minute. The 6'2 defender out of Kingsville was able to get his first goal of the season and even this 1-1. So the clock's still moving, so we'll have a number of minutes of added time sent to the end of this one once we get to that point. The players make their way back onto the pitch. The ball's going to be on the far side underneath the scoreboard. Looks like everyone's back into position now. One player still lacing his boot. So this one's even at 1. Big 3 points on the line. Mohawk no stranger to the tie this season, as they have 4 already. That one gets sent back, and the Saints have possession. They send it outside. That looks like Silva. It is. Silva dances through, finds himself a lane, gets to the middle. Mastriani sends it outside to Mayu. Mayu up to Ventura now. So the Saints gain a little bit of a field position here. As they're slowly bringing it in, the left boot goes right off the defender. That's number 4, Jalen Sinclair, 6-footer out of Milton. Here comes a big throw into the area. Only one Saints player there. Kind of gets missed, and that gets kicked immediately past the boundary line. That's going to be another throw in for the Saints. So let's see if they can get a little better throw in this time. Gets a nice running start. Again, headed away by a Mountaineers player, and they kick it away. They have Torres lurking. They're going to have to go all the way back to the keeper. Oh, dangerous pass from Rahi. Almost a mistake there from the keeper. Silva dances around, kicks it far side. Saints control. Left boot. Oh, they're looking for, couldn't see who was that sneaking down the middle for the Saints. Mayu's able to steal. They have Pizzuto on the left. Ventura has it. Looking for a crossing ball. There's a kick towards the net. That ball looked like it was going to be offside, but it passed everybody. And that goes over the head, and that's going to be a goal kick. Ferrucci has it. So over 20 minutes to go, plus some added time in this one. We're tied 1-1. Mohawk scored in the first half. Saints scored in the second. My name is Dan Dominguez. Thanks for joining the We Digital crew here today for OCAA men's soccer. Hot sunny day here on a Saturday, October 4th. Pushing into a mid-30s humidex. Mayu pushes it over far side. Out of town score. The playoff game, the Jays lead 2-0 after 2. Homers by Kirk and Vladdy. The eyes of Canada will be watching that one after this soccer match is over. Saba tries to dance pass. That's 12. That's Bronco. The goal scorer dances through. Oh, they got a man in. Pizzuto's there. Oh, what a save. And he chases, and he can't get it past. That ball just slipped through the defender. You can see the player just slipped through the defender and it had a one-on-one. Only the goalie, Ferrucci, was left, and that was Pizzuto, Alessio Pizzuto, who already has 2 goals this season, 5'9" out of Windsor, Holy Name, second-year player. Almost gave the Saints a 2-1 lead. Marco Ferrucci, the 6'2" keeper, keeps this one tied at 1. So a huge opportunity for the Saints, and now they have a corner. Low liner. Looks like they're calling for a handball, and it was. And that's going to turn the ball over. So 8-3 Humber leads over at Lacoste Park against the St. Clair Saints in OCAA men's baseball action as they're approaching the end of their season. They'll be playing tomorrow at home against Sheridan. And then they have a couple at Lambton next week. Lambton, the top team in the men's baseball standings this season. But the Saints have 4 straight championships, so always a force to be reckoned with. There's a nice pass down the left side. Little pass into Ventura. Ventura tries to send it to Pizzuto. Defended nicely. The last man, Calamar Russell, 6-footer out of Hamilton. Kalimar. That ball goes near side. Big collision. Body check by the Saints player. They play on. Nice job by Noah Bronco to avoid getting the whistle and get possession. And the Mohawk supporters not enjoying that one. Mayu on the far side. So the Saints showing a little bit more energy here in the second half. They're up to 3 shots now as the keeper comes out and defends there. That one headed away nicely by the Saints defense. And that's going to pass the boundary line. That's going to be a throw in. So we're going to have substitutions now on the far side. Looks like a pair of substitutions for Mohawk. 21, Diani. He got the assist on the only goal for Mohawk, is coming out. And it looks like number 3 came out on the near side, Manzueta. 23 is in, Paxton. And it looks like 20, Antunez, is the second substitute for Mohawk. Nice throw in over a couple of bodies, and Thwaites just chips it back to Rahi. So it's good to see Rahi maybe getting a little bit of a breather back there. He's taken a couple of hard bumps here today. He has 1 save, and he's given up a goal, but he's taken 2 big hits. Been down a couple of times, but is able to make his way back to his feet. Solomon battles. 3 Saints surround him, but this time they finally get the steal. Solomon tries to dance through. He still has possession. Nice footwork from Solomon. Mayu on the far side. Tries a little give and go with Mastriani. Mastriani gets tripped up, and that looks like it's going to be a foul. He's holding his knee, but let's see if he can make his way back up. Looks like he got kicked on that right leg, but he's going to make his way back up. And it looks like it's already taped up. And that right leg looks pretty taped up already. He's back to 1 knee. And you see a cramp right on the midfield at the Saints logo. So this weather definitely taking its toll as we have more substitutes coming on here shortly, as they're trying to work a cramp out of a Saints player. That's Solomon down, as Thwaites helps him. So Adhikari comes off for Mohawk. And here comes the striker. And Charmole comes back on. Charmole. So we're going to have a free kick near midfield. Looks like all the injuries have been taken care of. All the substitutions are done. And the Saints will have possession. The Saints kick it in quickly. I think that's Ventura on the far side into Silva. Silva tries to get around the edge. Silva finds Bronco, the lone goal scorer for the Saints. He kicks one in, tries to chip it in, and the keeper is able to grab it, but Pizzuto was there, unable to get solid contact on it. Mayu gets it over to the far side, and that gets kicked out of bounds. So we're looking, looks like another substitution coming on. This time it's the Saints are subbing in. I think that's Pizzuto going off. And it looks like a forward coming in for the Saints. So the Saints have possession. We're in the 79th minute. We know we're going to see some injury time here in this one. 5 shots to 3 for Mohawk. Each keeper has a save. And each keeper has a goals against. Into the shadow of the scoreboard. That one's kicked high above everyone. Mayu backpedals, plays the header. Couple of headers, and the Saints are able to get possession. Nice job by the Saints. That one just gets over the outstretched reach of the Saints forward. And that's going to be a throw-in on the far side for the Mountaineers. So Mohawk hasn't had a lot of opportunities. They're going to have to get things going if they want to try and get these 3 points. Here's a chip in. Big collision again. Two players ran into each other. Just looking for the same area. 12, Bronco is one. Bronco, the big body, 6'2". Just kind of ran into Torres. Torres only 5'9". So Bronco getting the better of that collision. There's a ball in. Silva's there. But kicked away. Saba tries to retain. Charmole sends it up, and he's got it. No, back to Thwaites. Oh, dangerous pass. The Saints having a little bit of communication issues in their own end, and they're going to have to regroup. Game getting a little bit more physical here in the last moments. 10 minutes and change. There's a ball sent up to the striker. Oh, he's in. This is trouble. Oh, what a save! A massive save. Charmole can't believe he didn't get it past the keeper. Max Rahi, Johnny on the spot, is able to get a piece of it to deflect it away and keep this game tied at 1. Pressuring still is Mohawk. Little inside pass shot towards the goal, but goes past the line, and that's going to be a goal kick. But Max Rahi with a huge save in alone on the breakaway was Michael Charmole, and he's unable to get it past the keeper. More substitutions as you're seeing a number of players. When I looked over, I saw 2 or 3 guys with their hands on their hips or bent over, and I see even in front of us Nick Rahi still holding the back of his neck. As this has been a physical affair. And the weather getting to everyone here on this hot field. Mayu, near side. That looks like it's going to be past the keeper, past the line, and a goal kick. Time winding down in this one. We're tied 1-1. Both teams in need of 3 points here, so you still might see teams trying pressuring up. Saints trying to retain, hang on to that third place spot in the table. Trying to stay ahead of Sheridan. And Mohawk with a victory can jump Niagara and get a point away from Sheridan. Here's Charmole, chips it in, headed away nicely by Mayu, but the Mohawk's still there. The left foot, the goalie comes out again. Mayu over to defend, pressure all over. The Saints are just flying defensively, and they're able to clear it away. There's a player down on the goal line, but they play on. Here come the Saints the other way. Player gets shoved from behind, that's Silva. And I think they might finally blow it dead, not yet, with the injured player. That player is going to be well offside because he's down and out. Oh, arm grab, no call. So this game getting physical here in the last 10 minutes. Onside, Soberai. Soberai looking for space. Inside, oh, it just leads him too much. Oh, looks for the top corner. Silva. So you see Soberai with the nice pass. This might have led him just a little too much, and it forced Silva to push that ball high and away. That's going to be a corner, so that ball must have ticked off of a defender on Mohawk as we're getting more substitutions on the far side. Mastriani goes off. And a Mohawk player comes in as well. They blow it back in for the corner. They go high above everyone. A header towards the net, just misses on the far side wide. Bronco looked like he was there again. I couldn't tell if he got a head on it or if someone knocked it away from him, but Noah Bronco, who scored back in the 58th minute, was trying to get goal number 2 of this one. More substitutions on as they're trying to move these players in with the heat. Coach is doing a good job to try and keep some fresh legs and fresh bodies out there. Kicked it in near side. There's Russell. He's been strong defensively for the Mountaineers. That ball's headed away. Charmoli has it. Dangerous player, chips it, tries to chip it in. He throws a forearm in there to Saba, and they play on, and he kind of flops down, and now he's holding his knee. As he looks like he's got a bit hurt, he's holding the ankle. And the referee is just ignoring it, calling it the old soccer flop. And now the referee's going to check on him. And now he seems okay all of a sudden. As soon as the referee comes over, he's fine. So as we take a look at it in the replay, got clipped a little bit and just started rolling around, trying to draw a late call here in a dangerous position. So Charmoli's got the soccer flop down, just didn't get the call. Saints trying to pressure. Crossing ball, but that's not going to get past everybody. Across the goal line. So Ferrucci, the keeper, has it on the goal kick. We're in the 86th minute. Another sub coming on. As the coaches, almost every whistle, seem to have a new body coming on, it seems. And here comes Charmoli actually coming out of the game. So interesting move here as we're approaching the final minutes of this one. Tied 1-1. Arguably their most talented player coming off the pitch. So Mohawk has it near side. Sends a long ball. Headed away nicely by the Saints. Bronco gets pushed to the turf. Mohawk has it. Again, sends a long one up. Gets caught up. There's a collision, but Mohawk seems to control. Some collision. They're going to play on. We've seen a lot. That's Rafosco for Mohawk. We've seen him down a couple times as well. Nice little touch pass from Mohawk as they try and attack. As Torres goes down for the Mountaineers. That ball gets deflected in. The Saints try and retain possession. They do. That's Soberai. Soberai one-on-one far side. Soberai tries to dance over defender, but he's got no one there to help. Soberai still hustling. He's got the ball again. Soberai now looking for a cross. The Saints slowing it down. A little bit of pressure from behind now, and the Saints come all the way back. Dangerous pass near the line. They're going to have to go all the way across and regroup with the weights. Soberai, far side, is onside. They chip it back. Big boot in. That gives, maybe someone got a touch on it, but where's this going to go? Corner or goal? We're waiting on a call. Looks like it's going to be a goal kick. Couldn't see if anyone got a piece of that one after the long crossing ball. Shots are 8-5 in favor of Mohawk. 3 saves for Rahi, 1 for Mohawk. We're now entering the 89th minute plus some added time due to the injury and water breaks. Saba heads it in. So the next goal scored would probably be the decider. A couple players go down as Saba flips on the turf. Players flying through the air now on both teams. Oh, a turnover by St. Clair. But they're able to regroup with Saba. Saba looking for some space. They have a player near side. They do. That's Rahi, Nick Rahi. Tries to send Bronco. Bronco looking for a cross. Bronco sends just a worm burner on the cross. He would have liked to probably get that one up a little bit. And a left boot as the offensive player Torres slips down to the turf for Mohawk. Mayu with the left boot pushes it to the far side. Ball back to midfield for the Saints. Looking for an opportunity here to try and get the go-ahead goal. Push to the outside. He has 3 players around him, doesn't know where he wants to go with it. Gives it up to Bronco. Well, that could be a turnover. Saba is able to get his body in the way. Nice footwork from Saba. Gets some room. Sends a big ball towards the crease area, towards the net. And the keeper dives on it, calling for a handball. None to be had. And this one gets punted away to midfield. The taller Thwaites is able to head that one. Midfield. They try and send a runner. The goalie's way out, and he boots it back to midfield. Nice job, and they're even able to save it with Ventura. A beautiful outlet pass. Oh, they almost had number 32, Soberai, in. I'm not sure if he would have been onside. As you see, Soberai lurking on the back line of the defense, trying to sneak in behind the last line. Nice move. And there's the horn. We're now into added time. So we're in the added time for the injuries. The keeper's going to scoop this one up. The ball's on the far side. There's Ventura. The keeper has to come out. That's Ferrucci. Comes out and grabs it. We didn't see any official signal for the added time. My guess would be 3 or 4 minutes, I would guess. Thwaites is back. He tries to chip it up to the Saints player, and that crosses the line. Oh, little shove there. Let's see what happens. Unnecessary push from the Mohawk player. As Paxton gives the Saints player a shove. No cards, but we do have substitutes coming in again. Let's see if they bring their striker back in, Mohawk. And that looks like it is. That's Sharmoli coming back into the match. Mohawk trying to get that go-ahead goal. So it's going to be a throw-in on the near side. Solomon comes in as well for the Saints. He was dealing with some cramping issue earlier. We're trying to figure things out. Referees get ready to blow this one back in, and here we go. Here comes the throw-in from Bowden. Bowden throws it towards the area. Headed away once by the Saints. Holloman. And finally almost cleared away. Now Saba tries to clear, and here comes Solomon. And the Saints escape some danger. Oh, a little pass behind. So Solomon just missed him. As we're now entering the 3rd minute of added time. Thwaites. That's Torres. Torres has it. Sharmoli, he's dangerous. Looking to get on his right foot. Blocked nicely by Thwaites. Mohawk still controls. Little shove to the turf. They play on as Saba just muscles them down. And the Saints have it. It looks offside, but they're going to let it play out. So somebody's playing shorthanded, it looks like. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They just had a player run in from the sidelines, hockey style. I'm not sure if that's legal. So Mohawk only had 10 men for a short time and just ran a player off the bench. Didn't even substitute legally unless the far referee let him on. 4. Looks like they're good now. As the crowd was just screaming that they were a man down. The left boot, that goes high up over everybody. So we're going to have another substitution coming in. As they're trying to retrieve the ball after the out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick. We're waiting to see. We're in the 4th minute of added time. It looks like Humber's starting to run away with it over at Lacoste Park against the Saints. They could try and split that doubleheader. This one's in the final moments of this one, as we're at about 4 minutes played in added time. But here comes Mohawk trying to get the 3 points. That's headed away really nicely by the Saints defender. And here comes St. Clair. That's Rahi, Nick Rahi. Oh, nice little pass up to Soberai. Soberai chips it up to Rahi. Oh, far side, he scores! The jersey comes off. A massive goal. Number 24, Nick Rahi. And they got the celebration, rowing the canoe down the 35-yard line. Watch the kick on this one. Kicks it off the side of his foot. And he's going to earn a well-earned yellow card there from Rahi. And Rahi kicks it off the back of his foot and curves it backside into the far post. They take a 2-1 lead. Rahi in the 90th minute scores, and there's some pushing and shoving at midfield. As you take a look at the replay again, some beautiful passing by the Saints. 2-3 good passes in a row by St. Clair over the Rahi, and Rahi puts it out, and it is all over here at Acumen Stadium. The final seconds of this one, Nick Rahi scores his first goal of the season, and the St. Clair Saints gained all 3 points, and they sweep the Mohawk Mountaineers. The women win 4-0, the men win 2-1, and it is all over from Acumen. My name is Dan Dominguez. On behalf of myself, Owen, the Flamia boys, Ryan and Alex struggling out here in the sun. Thanks for joining us here today. A St. Clair sweep in OCAA soccer. You're watching us live on We Digital. Thanks for joining us here today.